Hey, my friends, I'm really excited to be here with you today because I'm going to be reading you some of my favorite books from my childhood. This is Clifford. I don't know if you've heard of Clifford, but look at this. Wait, there's the front. Look at that. That's my name that I wrote when I was little. These are my books from when I was little. Anyways, the story and pictures are by Norman Bridwell, and I got permission to read this from Scholastic Book Services. Hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth, and this is Clifford, my big red dog. That's a big dog. Yesterday, my friend Martha said, "Your dog is very big and very red, but where did you get him?" I got my dog from a fancy pet store. So I told her how I got Clifford. That's Martha. That's Emily Elizabeth. When I was little, I lived in the city. I didn't have a dog. One day, the man down the hall called us. His dog had puppies. He wanted to give me one. One puppy was smaller than the rest. I liked him. I said, "I want this one." The man said, "Don't take him. He's the runt. He will always be small and sick." But I loved that little puppy. He needed me. I decided to call him Clifford. He was so tiny that I had to feed him with the doll's baby bottle. So tiny. We got the smallest collar we could find for Clifford. It was too big. He's wearing it around his tummy and it's still too big. When he began to eat dog food, we had to watch him all the time. Clifford's dish. Uh-oh. Face plant. He was so little that he was always getting lost, even in our small apartment. Oh, the boot. Daddy said Clifford is just too small. He didn't think he could live through the winter. I was very sad. That night, I let Clifford sleep on my pillow. I told him I wished he would grow to be a big, healthy dog. Then I told Clifford I loved him. Look at how little he is. The next morning, he looked bigger to me. What do you guys think? Does he look bigger? He seemed to have an easier time eating his dog food. And his collar wasn't so loose. In fact, by the time Daddy got home, the collar was too small. By bedtime, Clifford's tiny basket seemed a little too small for him. Wow. So I let him sleep on my pillow again. That was a mistake. Bed hog. Clifford's a bed hog. Next morning, Mommy thought Clifford looked different. Daddy said, "I think he's growing." I decided to take Clifford for a walk. At the corner, I saw a big dog coming. I knew I should pick Clifford up so the big dog couldn't hurt him. I shouldn't have worried. Now who's the big dog? Is Clifford bigger or is this dog bigger? Clifford really was growing. We ran home to show Mommy how big he was. Had our apartment door grown smaller? Oh boy, Clifford can hardly fit. Daddy couldn't believe it. We put Clifford in the garden to sleep that night. The garden here is the backyard. Put him in the backyard to sleep. In the morning, the lady upstairs called us. It was about Clifford. In fact, all the neighbors were starting to notice him. Look at how big that dog is. The landlord called the police. They came to see Clifford. They said Clifford would have to go. But how? He couldn't go through the door. One policeman had an idea. Oh boy, he wants to use a crane. There was just one way to get Clifford out of our garden. We sent him to live with my uncle who lived in the country. Look at that. I was sad. I missed my little puppy. And he missed me. Yeah. One day, we got a surprise. My uncle wanted Daddy to come work with him in the country. We could be with Clifford. We moved right away. Oh, look at his tail. He's so excited. Clifford was waiting for me. I said, Clifford, stop growing. You are just right. So, I said to Martha, that's how I got my dog. Tell me again how you got your dog. Martha said, forget it. Because Clifford's story was so interesting. That's it for Clifford, the small red puppy. I think I'll do another story. Oh, let's see. Like Clifford's Pals. This is another one by Norman Bridwell, also published by Scholastic. This is read with permission from Scholastic. Oh, this one doesn't have my name and phone number in it, though. But this was mine from when I was a little kid. Guess I didn't put my name in all my books. Hello, this is my dog, Clifford. I ride him to school every school day. Wow. I wonder if you guys would like to ride a dog instead of a school bus to school next year. I don't know how she gets up there. She must use a ladder. Clifford usually waits for me in the schoolyard. One day, he got tired of hanging around. So he went off to play with his pals. Here are Clifford's pals. Pals means friends. The other dogs were Susie, Lenny, Basker, Flip, and a big dog named Nero. Nero led them. That must be Nero. And I bet that's Flip, Basker, Lenny, and Susie. He led them to a construction site. There were lots of men and machines there. Clifford knew it was a dangerous place to play, but he didn't want to look like a coward. Some workers were knocking down old walls with a big steel ball. Clifford thought the ball would be fun to play with. Oh no, that could be very dangerous, Clifford. Be careful. The men didn't think it was fun. Clifford and his pals ran off fast. Oh no, Clifford broke the machine. Oh, that's bad news. Just as Flip was running under a scaffold, that's this thing, a can of red paint spilled. The painter yelled, "Watch out, little dog!" Clifford peeked around the corner. "Little dog," the painter said. "What was in that paint anyhow?" They thought the paint splattered on that dog, and it became that dog. That's silly. Susie, Lenny, and Nero jumped down into a big pit. Oh boy, that could be dangerous. The work crew didn't see the dogs. They started to pour cement on them. Oh boy, I hope they are okay. Clifford knocked the cement chute aside. Now the men were covered with wet, sticky cement. Clifford cleaned them off. Yuck! The cement tasted awful. Clifford went to get a drink from a hose. Oh boy, do you think those men like Clifford licking them? I see a couple of grouchy faces, but I don't know if they're grouchy from Clifford licking them or grouchy from being covered in wet, sticky cement. Just then, someone turned the water on in the hose, full blast. Uh-oh. Oh, Clifford. Then Clifford saw the other dogs digging in some soft dirt. They didn't see that the bulldozer was about to push more dirt down on them. There's the bulldozer pushing. Oh boy, they need to get out of there. Clifford jumped to stop the bulldozer. Crunch. He stopped it. Oh no, Clifford broke another big machine. They're going to be upset. Next, Clifford's pals found some great big pipes to play in. Clifford tried to follow them, but he was too big. Oh, look where they're putting the pipes. I guess they found a new crane to use. The pipe was stuck on Clifford's nose, and he couldn't see. Whoops! Crash! The pipe came off. Oh, Clifford's okay. The workers were angry. The dogs were causing a lot of trouble for them. They chased Clifford's pals into a storage pen and locked them in. Clifford came to rescue his pals. He had already broken a crane, a bulldozer, and a pipe. He didn't want to do any more damage. So instead of breaking down the fence, he found another way to help his friends. It's a clever dog. Now the workers were even more angry. They tossed a big, strong net over Clifford and tied him. They said they would have to keep him there until the job was done. Clifford didn't know what to do, but his pals did. They chewed through the ropes that held Clifford. Oh boy, I hope they get out of there and go somewhere safer. They all ran back to the schoolyard. Clifford and his pals decided they would never play near a construction site again. I think that's a good choice. Well, thanks for listening to my stories today, friends. I miss you guys so much. I'll have some more stories for you soon. Bye.